What's going on? Charles Botensten here. We're down visiting the parents. Just wanted to live stream this. My dad's taking a little bit of a nap. My mom is going out getting some groceries. So I said, you know what? You have 10 minutes. It's a beautiful day. It's 75, 76 degrees out, and it's amazing when you actually have time and there's not a bunch of noise and you're not looking at your cell phone and you're kind of away. I haven't done this in a while. Probably haven't done this in about a year and a half. But when you come down and you're in Florida and there's a lot of people that are either elderly or in a nursing home or they're retired or things like that, and you're around them, you really start to consider a bunch of things. Number one is age, time, life, journey, all these cliche terms. But when you can actually put meaning to it, and obviously let me know if, this is going out to you guys, because I'm out on a dock. It's a little breezy right now, so I don't know if the volume and everything else is coming through. However, it really made me think, because I asked my mom, I said, during breakfast this morning, I said, what do you miss about your parents the most? What do you miss about your mom and dad? Because I never met my grandfather on either end. I only met my grandmothers, both of them, beautiful souls. And my mom said, yeah, I think about them in prayer, but I don't really think about them day to day. And she started going into, I said, okay, you're at the age right now that not only is she affecting herself, but she's affecting other people. And she started going into legacy and whatnot. And there's going to be a point where, and you see this with a lot of people that are retired and or wealthy, they start leaving their legacy. They start building out a wing in college, and that's the business school for XYZ name, or they start building out the name of a hospital, or they start building out, something in, wherever the case is. They get to the age where they have plenty of money, but they don't have a lot of time. And the opposite is true when you're young. You have plenty of time, but not a lot of money. So you volunteer and you do, certain things during your younger age because you have the time, but you don't have the money. Okay, when you're older, you're like, shit, I only have like 15 years left, 20 years left. And I'll just leave you with this before I get into the crux of the video, which is we just came from a condo unit here where my parents are staying, and the woman was showing us around because my mom might rent it next year. And the woman that was showing it around, she's a renter, but she's not going to come back next year. And the woman that's there was talking about, she is the reason that she's not coming back is because her husband is sick, and her husband was actually in the other room. We never saw him. But she said, we just need to get him home. And we're going to be leaving on Saturday, and we're cutting it a month short and things like that. And as a guy that's 32, it's really hard to wrap your head around that. A lot of people would say, oh, sorry, but they don't really deeply think about it. Thank you. Yeah, there's a beautiful background. It looks like, somewhere else, but it's beautiful, sunny Florida. And this is what I'm thinking is start your legacy now. Start your legacy now. And, I'm following up on that from the video that I did this week, which is what story are you writing? And when people tell that story, and obviously I'm going to go to the extreme on the examples, but if you robbed a bank, do people want to be known? Do you want to be known as that person that robbed the bank? Do you want to be known as that person that committed adultery or did something wrong or stole or was unethical or went to court or things like that? Do you want to be known as that? And I'm going to follow up that video with this quote, which is start now. Start your legacy now. You're 22, you're 32, you're 42, you're 52, you're 72, or you're 102. Start your legacy now. Because what's the number one thing that people say? What's up, Erwin? No city bike down here. They might have bike sharing south of us, which is in Miami. But I could tell you right now is that if you start right now, people will forgive you for, say, sins or unethical things that you did earlier in life. They're not willing to, if you were really great for 70 years and in the last 10 years you really fucked up, say like Steve Wynn, you could say whatever you want about him, but now this guy is going to be literally, what's going on? Excited about your ideas and commitment. Listen, the commitment is that this is my legacy. I'm going to want at one time someone that's related to me or you guys to, take an idea and run with it, because I never had YouTube. I never had any of this. I never had anyone say, hey, listen, Charles, even though you suck at school, leave a legacy. And then if I thought about that, I would say, okay, what's my legacy? And I would start thinking about it. It's not overnight, by the way. I don't even know what my legacy is, okay? But at least it's contemplating, it's rolling around in my mind, enough so that when I see someone that is sick or elderly and I say, God, imagine being their age, and I'm literally looking at this woman and she's talking about her husband and whatnot, and I'm looking at her and I'm saying, man, like what is she thinking in her mind? She's thinking about taking care of her husband, and then, you know, it was, you know, we went by her place. It was probably around 12 o'clock at the time, and they already had a glass of wine, and I'm thinking, you know, you're drinking and no judgment. It's just what got to this point? What were the series of steps that got you to this point? And it's no judgment, you know, no judgment whatsoever. You just take and you learn from that, and you say, okay, start right now. Erwin, mad lead, you know, start right now. And that's the biggest thing is, if you don't start now, when are you going to start? And if you don't start right now, you're not becoming a better person. That's really the way that I look at it. The person that robbed the bank can flip it around. You know, there was a story that came out, this guy that, he was a convicted felon, came out and said, I want to change my entire life around. And then sure enough, he went out, got his doctorate, and now he's a professor somewhere teaching some very advanced level at a prestigious school. I think it's Johns Hopkins or something like that. And this guy was a convicted felon. And the story was about how he flipped his life upside down. That is a guy that says, I screwed up, I take responsibility, and I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to start right now. I'm sorry about my past unethical behavior or illegal behavior while I was in prison, or what got me into prison. But what am I going to do now? And then the other thing that I can talk about right now is, when you're down here, there's people. So I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see it. There's a bridge behind me. Okay, so we walked that bridge. Okay, my dad is 84, my mom is 70. All right, they look great. And we walked that bridge from behind me. Okay, that's Pier Point to that bridge. That was at least a mile and a half. At least. It probably looks like 70 miles right now, but it's a mile and a half at least over the bridge from here, mile and a half, 2 miles. There's a significant difference from the people, like my parents, that were active their life, and the people that were not, and they were stagnant, and they ate terrible. And then once you hit 60 or 70 years old, you're like, why do I want to start eating healthy now? I know my doctor said I should lay off the sugar, I should lay off sitting down and watching TV and things like that. That's why I want to eat good now, so I not only have the energy, but I don't have the problems later on. That's really what it comes down to. They have more endurance than me. You know, but that's the thing is, you're so young. Dude, you're a decade younger. Dude, Erwin, what are you, 30-something? You know, you're 50 years younger. 50 years. That's insane. So the two things that I couldn't really just, and I'll leave it with this, actually. This is the last thing is, you have a lot of people that I was out to breakfast with my parents. There was multiple couples around, and they're all in their 60s and 70s. It's Florida, it's retirement homes everywhere. This was the number one thing that I noticed: cell phones. Cell phones. You know, back in the day, as Gary Vaynerchuk talked about, they would just sit there in silence, and now they're on their cell phones. What do I say? I don't think that's good. I don't think that's healthy. Okay? They didn't talk. They just sat there, and they were just plugging away, and then one of them said, let's go shopping. They're like, yeah, let's go shopping. That's not me. I'm not gonna give a shit. I could care less about shopping right now, let alone when I'm 70 or 80. Where in my mind am I gonna say, yeah, let's go shopping? But sure enough, the women were like, yay. And I asked my mom, I'm like, would you be that? She's like, I don't shopping, no. So legacy is the number one thing, the impact, because when all is said and done, the things that you bought, the things that you stored away in your house, the beautiful kitchen and everything else, you're all renting it. However, the thing you're not renting is, say, a video that's going to last on YouTube forever talking about legacy. And maybe that's my legacy. I have no idea. I have no idea. You know, and I'm still figuring it out. It's leaving behind something, not only for the better, but it's actually doing something about it. Because I used to be the guy that would just read and not do. And I would sit there and I would contemplate. And Erwin, I forgot the thing that you say. It's you know, you're sitting there in contemplation the entire time, you know, instead of actually doing it. So that's me signing off from Stuart. And the final thing is, I know I said that before, all these things are just triggering in my mind when you're around not only a different location, but you're seeing people that over decades have gone down a different path than what you would analysis paralysis. Thank you. Yeah. A decade or 2 or 3 or 4 of going down the path that you don't want to do, seeing what happens at the end goal, which is maybe a little bit overweight or lethargic, or you're not even on a bike or walking, or you have to take care of not only yourself, but someone else has to take care of you, your spouse, who's saying, holy shit, this is a burden, we don't have enough money. That's why we need to do it now. Okay, don't wait till it's too long. Yeah, some morons just need to lay in the damn bed. So the thing is, there's a lot of people that are going for a cause that doesn't mean anything. Okay, the cause could be something so dumb, minutia, writing comments on Facebook. Why are you even on Facebook? Go out there and do something about it. Go out there and leave a legacy. And then you ask that person, do you want to be that person that's known for leaving shitty comments, or the person that downvotes videos? Instead of downvoting, say, okay, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Is it fair to say that we should all pay a visit to a place? 100%. Honestly, this has to be one of the best trips that I've taken in a while, because I'm in a totally different place, completely different place. Is that you reflect on the people and the things that you see out at a restaurant. Me, my mom, and my dad were the only ones talking. We were the only ones talking. We had no cell phones at the table. I already told you about that time I was out with a girl and I told her, are you going to be on your cell phone? If so, put it in your purse. If you don't want to put it in your purse, we're just going to close out the tab and just say we're not meant for each other, because that's not me. Okay? You know, it's nothing against you. It's just a lack of chemistry. It's just a lack of chemistry. That's just my standards. Okay? Maybe some other guy's standard says, oh, you're attractive, so I don't really care that you're on your cell phone. This is my standard. Okay? My legacy is not to have you on your cell phone while I sit there and entertain you. I'm not a clown. Okay? I'm not here to entertain you, you know, as they say in Goodfellas. What, am I here to entertain you? No, I'm not here to entertain you. So leave the legacy now. And the only way to, sometimes in New York City, distracts us from stuff like this. You know, yeah, of course. You could easily, you know, then move. You know, if you don't want to move, then you know, we can't complain about it. You know, that's the best way to put it. So I'm gonna hop out for right now. Maybe I'm gonna go live tomorrow, but this has been one of the best trips. Start your legacy now. And if someone asks you what you're doing right now, or the ethical decisions you're making, or the unethical decisions right now, is that what you want to be known as? If someone wrote a book about your inner thoughts and your deep inner desires, is someone going to be happy reading that book? All right? There's a lot of things, and they call it the shadow. And if you look it up, there's an entire book and there's a documentary about the shadow. The shadow is something that we all have a shadow. They're all just underlined in us, and we have to discover why we have that shadow. That shadow could be hatred towards someone, hatred towards our spouse, hatred towards a certain type of group, or your job, or your boss, or just deep hatred of just that inner that we just suppress. And it's that shadow that we need to bring up, and we need to question, and we need to say, why? Why is it there? Where did it come from? You know, I told my parents that maybe the reason that I'm doing this is because I didn't get enough attention when I was younger. Not because my parents were assholes, but because my mom worked her ass off from 5 to 6, and my dad worked his ass off as well. So not only did they give me the hard working, but they also said, you know what? If you want to do it, or if you want to get something, you have to do it. Okay, you have to earn it. There's merit. There's meritocracy. There is no giving. Something's not given to you. Okay, so that's it for today. Enjoy your weekend. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. I have no idea. But enjoy your weekend. If you guys have any questions, obviously let it go. And anything you want me to talk about, you know, I'm an open book, and I'm only getting more open. It's all a journey for all of us. Talk to you soon from sunny Philadelphia, sunny Florida.